This clip is about self-study for the LSAT when preparing to apply to law school. This is specifically for formerly incarcerated folks who are trying to get a handle on this process, but it could also apply to anyone who is not a traditional applicant. I know from personal experience that when you're older than the average student, you're working full-time, you've got bills, maybe some of you have child support, legal fees, student loan payments from back in the day, applying to law school can get expensive in a hurry. For those of you who are on probation and parole, you found out quickly that there are a lot of extra expenses involved, from travel costs and time off for check-ins to treatment programs you have to pay for. It all adds up. So when you hear about other applicants who are competing for your seat in law school, taking an LSAT prep course, and that these prep courses cost hundreds of dollars, that might sound like one more reason to give up. But don't give up. Take it from me, you can study at home. I studied by myself at my kitchen table for about 6 months, and I got a very good score. Here's how I recommend doing it. Number one, get your hands on a study guide and some practice tests. You really only need one study guide unless you just want to read more than one for fun, but try to stockpile as many practice tests as possible. My personal favorite study guide is the LSAT Trainer by Mike Kemp. And then you can find practice tests in the books called 10 New Actual or 10 Actual. A lot of them are put out by the Law School Admissions Council. Yes, these books cost money. However, if you know anyone who has recently applied or are still connected to an advisor from your college or a program you've gone through, ask them for their used copies. Also, email us at filsa@mail.law.cuny.edu, and we'll try to find copies of these types of books for formerly incarcerated prospective students. Number two, be disciplined. In the beginning of my study time, I read through my study guide as fast as I could. I read it on my lunch breaks or for about an hour before bed every night, plus any other extra time I could find. I recommend unplugging the TV and canceling all of your streaming services. Once I read through the study guide one time, I read it again, cover to cover. Then I began taking practice tests. At first, I would take one section at a time with no timer just to get the hang of it and check my answers, reworking problems that I missed just to make sure I got it down. Later, once I got more comfortable with the format and the flow of the test, I'd set a timer. In the last 2 months before the test, I was taking a full test under time conditions anywhere from 5 to 7 times per week. Sometimes this means staying up late, sometimes it means getting up early, sometimes it means saying no to other things you really want to be doing, but keep your goal in mind. Now, you'll read online that people recommend taking practice tests under the same exact conditions as the actual test day, but for many of us, that's just not possible. If you're like me, you're working like 75 hours per week, you got people around all the time, you've got other responsibilities to take care of. You don't have the luxury of taking several afternoons per week to find a quiet testing site for your practice. Don't worry about that. Work really hard with what you've got, even if you don't do it exactly like I did it or like other people are recommending. If you put the practice in, it will pay off. Okay, I hope that helps. It's totally possible to study your way to a solid LSAT score and to get into law school without spending a ton of extra money. That's it for this one, but keep clicking through these other videos in the series to get a full handle on the process. And please reach out anytime to filsa@mail.law.cuny.edu.